Well, I'm on the farm today, and I got my handy dandy Farmall 350. We've had fuel issue problems with this thing this summer, and so what I've done here, I'm just going to kind of take you through some of my troubleshooting. Hopefully this will not be a long video, but I started, there's a fuel bowl that sits right up in there, and I've got the bowl. You can see it sitting right there. And there's also an inline filter that fits on that hose right there and connects to that hose right there. And I'd bought a new Baldwin filter just the same as the old one. So what I did is, in troubleshooting the fuel issue here, clearly it's not getting fuel to the carburetor, and what it'll do is it'll run for just a little bit, and then it'll just stall. And so I'll turn it on, leave it running, walk away, and come back, and it's kind of stalled out. Well, the first thing I did is I took this little plug right here, pipe plug for lack of a better word. I took that off and let the fuel, turned the fuel on, and I opened it up. There's enough dripping out to fill up that bowl so it'll start. So I just took it loose and let it drain, and within a few seconds it stopped, the gas stopped. So I knew at that point I'm not getting gas to the carburetor, because this tractor is really good. When if it's got gas, it's going to run. And I don't know how many times I've taken off and forgot to turn the forgot to turn the valve on the fuel bowl and just ran out of gas to the carburetor. But as soon as I opened it up, it would start and run like a champ. This tractor has always run good like that. But we were pulling a hay wagon, or getting ready to pull a hay wagon with it last summer, and it turned out it was out of fuel. I just had enough to get it going. And I think what happened was it sucked debris down into the system somewhere. And so once I figured out I wasn't getting gas here, then I moved to this fuel filter right here. And there's an in and obviously an out. And I blew on it, and there was a little resistant, but not much. Not enough to make a huge difference. But and then I put the new one. I got the new one here, and it's even more wide open than this one. So this one's got a little bit of debris in it, but it's not bad. And then let me back up here. I know a lot of people say take those filters off and throw them in the trash, because there's a screen down here that'll catch it. But I'd rather catch the debris right there where I can put my hands on it and take it out, than to reach back down in here and take all that crap apart to get to an inlet screen. I'd just as soon keep that inlet screen clear. So I ruled out the filter as being the problem. So I came around and I took the fuel bowl off, and it had rust in it about that deep, but it was down here in the bottom, and it was full of fuel. And so it didn't appear that I don't think you can, maybe you can run the fuel bowl dry when it would stop flowing. There was still fuel in the bowl, and since it's gravity, I would think that would be normal. I really don't have a lot of experience with these valves and these fuel bowls, and the experience I do have has been miserable, because I could never get the gasket to work on here again. But anyway, in any event, so I came around and I took the bowl off. You can see up in there, and I expected there to be a hole in the bottom of this. I haven't looked at any diagrams or anything, but it's not. there's holes up here in the side, one on that side that goes all the way through. And so gas comes out, and instead of gas dripping straight down, it kind of comes out this way and that way. If you can see, out of this fitting right here. Now, if I've got that wrong, somebody correct me. But what I did is I took a little blade of grass. That was the smallest thing I had, and I kind of shoved it in there, kind of where my fingernail's at, and I did it on both sides, and rust came out. So there was rust coming down in here, and really nothing was coming out except just a drip. Now I'm going to open that valve up, and I've got gas coming out on both sides now. You see that? So I think I'm in good shape, but I don't know that I'm out of the woods. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the fuel bowl back on. I'm going to reassemble the filter on that gas line down there, and kind of let this gas evaporate off of here some, and then I'll come back and start, and I'll run it till it, shuts off again. And my guess is I probably got a fair amount of fuel in here, but I think maybe what happened was we ran it dry, and it gave an opportunity for that rust to get down in and clog that thing right there. So let me get everything assembled, and I'll come back here in just a little bit after things dry out. I don't want to crank this thing up when I got gas laying all over everything. I'll come back. All right, I got everything back together and running. I looked down in the, fuel tank, and it looks remarkably clean. Just maybe a little bit of dirt, but the fuel bowl was slow to fill up at first, and then I think some vibration took hold, and it gushed into there. So let me kind of take it for a little ride and see what happens. Third gear, my favorite gear on this Farmall. Let's just see what happens here. Worst case, it can die. I don't want it to die down in that crap. But I'll run up here in this field a little bit. I was surprised how little debris was in the fuel tank. I expected to look in there and see it. Nothing but rust, and that just wasn't the case. Let me take this thing down to second gear, where I can slow my ground speed but give it a little more gas. Well, there it goes. To be continued.